John Crowley is now joining me for an update on the good, the bad and the ugly, our daily dose of Olympic stories. Well, today we're going to do it in the other order, the ugly, the bad and then the good, John. Well, the ugly, I guess, is this doping scandal, doping story that everyone's talking about, except that it isn't really a scandal, as, you know, the swimmer has said she would never use banned drugs.
Yes, Shiwen has had accusations, and we should state this at the moment, that there are accusations that have been levelled at her. This was after she swam in the women's 400 metres individual medley on Saturday. She smashed the world record by a second, which it's a huge distance in swimming terms. She beat her own personal best by 5 seconds.
And also what was interesting is that she actually, for the final 50 metres, was faster than the equivalent of the American male swimmer, Uriah Lochte, who's been doing so well.
Yeah. So eyebrows were raised. They were raised by the commentators from the British Broadcasting Corp. But yesterday we had John Leonard, who's the American head of the World Swimming Coaches Association. He described her performance as unbelievable and disturbing, and this prompted a furious response from China's Olympic Federation. From her, she denied it flatly. She said that she's never taken performance-enhancing drugs. And actually, let's remember, this is only a teenage girl who's had these accusations levelled against her, who said nothing proved whatsoever. Several members of the British Athletics Federation today have come out in defence and said, well, look, innocent until proven guilty. But for their part, the Chinese Federation have come out and said, well, when Michael Phelps was winning his 8 golds in Beijing, we never made any claims at all against him. So this one's likely to rumble.
And of course, this is actually overshadowing Michael Phelps himself, who's expected to go for, well, the top 18 medals or something.
Well, it's overshadowing the swimming, certainly, and it's the biggest story coming out of the UK today.
I mean, of course, she now has the 200 metres individual medley later today. So I guess people are going to be really concentrating to see whether or not she does the same sort of performance again.
The whole world is going to be watching her, and when you go into the pool, you just want to do your best, don't you? You just want to get the best time. So we'll have to see whether this weighs on her or not.
Okay. What is the bad story today?
Well, this is unbelievable scenes last night. The Excel Centre in East London. Shin Lam of South Korea, she's a fencer. She was in a bout against a German called Britta Hindman. She thought that she had won the semi-final bout, which would have guaranteed her at least a silver medal. So it looked like the contest had finished, gone down to 0 seconds. They then actually stopped the clock and said, no, you've got another second to go. So in that moment, the German came in, scored a hit, and then it prompted these huge kind of crazy scenes, really, in which Shin just kind of burst into floods of tears. Her trainer just started running round the arena, just going absolutely mental. And she stayed there for over an hour.
Did it do any good, though?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It didn't win. It did. Unfortunately, her didn't win. But it was very sad.
It was a bit of a protest.
Well, it was a bit of a protest. But no, she actually had to stay there as well, because I think if she'd left what's called the piste, it would have kind of signified that she was kind of giving up the bout. So she kind of sort of had to stay there while it happened.
For a full hour, though?
Well, maybe for a full hour. Well, she was waiting for the judges to decide on what happened. So poor girl. And she lost the bronze incident as well.
Bad story. And the good?
Well, the good, we're kind of doffing our hats to our kind of North Korean friends in the weightlifting sector. Forgive the pronunciation here. Kim Un-guk in the 62-kilogram weightlifting class. He scored a world record yesterday. But really, the person who deserves special mention is Yeon Kul 4 foot 11 inches tall, lifted 3 times his body weight, 168 kilograms.
That's pretty amazing.
How much can you lift, Nick?
That's a bit of an embarrassing question. We won't go down that road.
We'll talk off screen.
I can reverse that question and ask you, John.
168 kilograms.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, I'm lying.
That's actually just how much you weigh, right?
But actually, yes, quite. What was quite funny, both of them paid huge praise to Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, and actually, I think Yoon actually said that he was inspired by the late Kim-il when he was doing his weightlifting. So clearly, he felt his hand on his shoulder there.
Brilliant, John. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Indeed. Well.